So now continues 7 points mind training. So the first one is preliminaries. So men teaching this 7-point mind training is we call the 2 altruism or 2 bodhicitta. So again, in Buddhist science, discovered the greatest mind or king of the mind that want to achieve Buddha and help all beings. So you're not going to find greater than that mind. So that very mind, so powerful, whoever cultivates that very mind, it's a guarantee can be end entire your suffering and will attain the greatest happiness. Not only just the self, this very enlightened mind may kind of end countless others' suffering and gain countless happiness. So in that way, bodhicitta or altruism is so powerful mind. So this mind is not something that's separate or parting one's own mind. This very mind means like we're not talking about yesterday's mind, we're not talking about tomorrow's mind, we're just talking about the present while you listen to me, concentrating to what I'm saying. That very mind has all the what called the potential, equipped the essence of this mind. So that very mind we kind of planting in the soil with the right condition, sooner or later it will germinate, and then it brings what we call the produce the blossom and the fruitions. So in that way, what we say, human mind is the most powerful mind. There's no more powerful than human mind. So this very powerful mind can be very helpful, useful to self and everyone else. So now to cultivate that, then we need to lots of what we call the preparation. Without preparation or preliminary or foundation, this mind, not just by itself, going to blossom the great fruit. So in this reason, we talk about first to cultivate, to germinate that seed, one need to practice these foundations. So within the foundation, we talk there's 4 foundations. The first one, precious human rebirth. Second one is shortcoming life, impermanence. Third one, cause and effect. And the fourth is dissatisfactory nature of samsara. That's the 4 foundations. So at the moment we talk at the first, the precious human rebirth. So precious human rebirth, as I explained this morning, the life that has all the condition and free all obstacle to practice Dharma. So that very life we call the precious human rebirth. And that very life is extremely hard to find. Just having that life itself is miraculous, if you really think about that. So as we explained this morning, we are so fortunate, free from this kind of a lack of freedom to practice Dharma. Just free this state. It's not that easy. The reason, the cause of this restless state are such as attachment, anger, and so forth. These kind of seed or cause, each and every day we accumulate kind of unable to count how often we create causes, conditions. So it's not that far away from us. So somehow, the moment we conceive in mother's womb, that very moment, we're so fortunate, have that opportunity to conceive as human life, rather than just, we don't need that tiny mistake enough. Actually, we can conceive other life. No? So in that alone, it's important to realize how fortunate we just managed to escape this restless state and managed to find this human precious rebirth. So in this way, many of us, we're interested to meditate. Most of our interest in meditation is just temporary solution, because when you stress out, you get exhausted, then you just come and meditate, make you be relaxed. So we're looking very simple, very lowest level of quality of meditation. But Buddhist meditation is far more greater than that, far more deeper than that. So this reason, saying you yesterday at the beginning I mentioned, impossible to meditate without having the knowledge. So therefore, first one need to develop the knowledge about the nature of phenomena. And we must hear again and again how often we need to hear and study until we develop this conviction. This is the real, this is the truth. So from that moment, the moment you have this conviction, realizing, then you don't need to study, you have to use that into the meditation. That's the reason it's so important. Often to hear, often to read, often to contemplate. Somehow it gives you some kind of conviction. So that moment, now is meditate. So this very meditation is the prime technique where to purify this mind. No? So in this way, what I'm meditating, not because I love my religion, I'm meditating not because some teacher or someone has recommended to me. The reason I'm meditating, just sake of my own benefit, nothing else. So these things may benefit to me, why not this can benefit to others? So in this way, compassion arises. So this helps me. So if I offer this to someone who struggling or facing same challenge I used to be, so I want to offer something that helps him or her to overcome that. So that very idea is we call the compassion. So out of compassion, you put effort. You explain things, make sure the person sees the value, make sure the person understands the importance. So the moment that person realizes this is important, I really want to adopt that kind of a technique. So that very moment, your compassion action is fruitful, because you put effort, try to explain, now other person realizes it's important and practice it. So that practicing itself is a sense of a cause to bring you joy, because your wish to see someone can benefit. The moment this person can benefit what you offer, that alone is enough to make you happy. So this is the Buddhism saying, no matter how much you put effort to make happiness for yourself, same effort you put to help others, when others can benefit, that whatever brings happiness to you is far more powerful than just caught up yourself, making yourself on a kind of happiness. No? So this we kind of completed the first part to realize how fortunate this lack of freedom to practice Dharma. Now second is the right condition. So right condition, there is two things. One condition is dependent upon you. Second part of condition dependent upon others. So altogether we talk about 10 endowments. Yeah? So first, the dependent to self is one must born as human. So again, I'm not sure how about scientifically talk about, but in Buddhist theory, we talk about the 4 continents: East, South, West, and North. So being who born in this East, South, and West, their lifespan is indefinite. Yeah? There's no fixed. But then northern continent, they're fixed. They know exactly how long they're going to live. So northern continent beings, even they're human beings, they don't have a right condition to practice Dharma. So only being who born in the 3 continents, East, South, and West. So one need to be born one of these 3 continents, either male or female. So that means like born as human beings, the first self-condition. And second, they're saying central location. So this central location, again, there's 2 kind of aspect. One, they're saying geographically central location. Second one, spiritually central location. So geographically central location, we usually refer to India, because India is an amazing place actually. Lots of religion came from India. And it's particular this called the Bodh Gaya, where the Buddha was attained enlightenment. That very spot, as a Buddhist kind of belief, is very important. We call the diamond seed. Reason is important is in the Buddhist philosophy they're saying this very eon there are going to be 1,002 Buddha going to be appear. So all these 100,002 Buddha are going to attain enlightenment that very spot, same spot. So Buddha Shakyamuni is the 4th Buddha. Before him, there are 3 already gone. Then future, there is another, like I said, 995 will come. So all this Buddha will attend in that very spot, same spot. Therefore, it's so important geographically. So when you're born in that part of country, naturally you have more access to come across the Dharma in your life. That's geographically we call the right place to be born in terms of to practice Dharma. And then spiritually central location means like any country, the country that has some practitioner, we're saying at least 4 practitioners. So 4 practitioners, we're referring to ordained monk or nun, 2 household lay, male and female. So as long as there's some Dharma practitioner, again there's opportunity to kind of come across Dharma in your life. Apart from that, country where you're born, there's no exist any name of the Dharma, then there's no opportunity. So in this way, second is born in the right place where there's access to the Dharma. If you look in the like a 20th or early 20th century or in the 19th century, most of the part of the world there's no Dharma. Very few. But nowadays it's different because Buddhism kind of spreading many parts of Europe, many parts of kind of now they have a southern hemisphere, northern hemisphere, everywhere, you know. In the 19th century or 18th century, almost there's not many there. So that's a third one, yeah. Second one. Now third one, be born, have all this what we call the healthy body and healthy mind. So healthy, say, unhealthy body is not that important, it's okay, but unhealthy mind, because if mind is not functionable, then even you born in a Buddhist family, your mind is very limited, cannot progress. You know, karmically, unfortunately, it's restricted. So this is also not reason we can't born be and that kind of mentally disabled. You know? So therefore, we born in a right kind of a state of the mind. That's a third requirement, sub-condition. And the fourth condition, person naturally who possess such as a negative state of mind. Some people you may see born with such negative. Entire his or her life will be very negative. So this person, not just alone, there's many out there who loves dearly, wanted to help, but somehow this person not allows or not accept any help, so remain as such a negative state of mind. No? So that state of mind very hard to change. So we are so fortunate, even though time to time we may have some negative thoughts, but still we accept others' help. Because that's the reason we try to study such as a Buddhist philosophy, or we read different books. So it means like we're searching out there something to help. You know? So this is of what we call the fourth, we are not born such a negative state of life. And then fifth one, we have this mind to respect cause and effect. Whether we practice that or not, no? We are abiding with the karma or not, at least we are accepting. You know? Whatever experience the difficulty, we know this is negative karma. When we experience something good, we know this is a good karma. So how many out there who really have awareness that karma is the creator of happy or unhappy? You know? So very few. So in that point of view, we have that some kind of belief to the cause and effect. So when we have this five, as be born as human, born in the right place, there's the Dharma access. Second, third, we have all this healthy, the mental state. Third, we have this free from this negative state of mind. And the fifth, we have this faith to the cause and effect. So when you have this five, then you have this right condition to practice Dharma. So therefore, I mentioned this morning, no one out there can tell you you are precious in many births. only person who knows you're precious or not. You have to study about these things and then reflect yourself whether I got these things or not. If you have all these conditions, then you must be precious human rebirth. Yeah? So these are 5 self-conditions to practice Dharma. Now second, that depending to others are saying even one reborn as a human, but reborn in time of the when there's no Buddha, then there's not going to be teaching, nothing to practice. So must be born time of the Buddha still exists. So it means like a Buddha appear, actually Buddha himself, historical Buddha, you may say, came 2000 over 500 years ago. But then in the Buddhism context, we're saying there's not just one Buddha. There's countless Buddha. Actually, statistically, they're saying every second, some parts of the world, countless beings actually attain enlightenment. So it's not just one Buddha. Countless beings attain, right now attain enlightenment statistically. And so that's anyway, first the Buddha appears. And second, they're saying, I think attaining Buddha is one thing, and the Buddha giving teaching is another thing. It's so important. That means in the Buddhist philosophy saying, it's not right you go out and convert someone into Buddhist. That's completely a mistake. Buddhism saying it's entirely dependent the individual interest. If someone interest, the teaching of the Buddha always manifest. If you're not interested, you're living next door, Buddhism is not exist. So it's next neighbor, all the teachings happening, practice happening, but if you're not interested, for you it's not exist. So in this way, Buddhist teaching entirely depends on the being's interest. So when there is a period of time, Buddhism saying, no one interests Buddha Dharma. And that time, the teaching not going to be exist in this world. So that not means like a completely gone from this world. What we are saying is, say for instance, when we destroy this environment, say putting concrete in the ground, it may stop temporarily to grow grass, vegetation, so on and so forth. But this concrete cannot stop forever because nature is so powerful. Then, say, right now, for instance, if you look in the big city like Sydney, jungle, this cement concrete, jungle. Thousands of years later, we never know it may turn into the forest. So none of us can defeat the nature. Nature is so powerful. So similarly, the being's interest is so powerful. When there's interest, everything is possible. When there's no interest, whatever comes, nothing going to work. So this reason, Buddhist teaching, whether going to be alive or not, is entirely dependent on sentient being's interest. So in this way, when sentient beings start to get interest, then Buddha appears. Not only just appear, Buddha then turn the wheel of Dharma. Turn the wheel of Dharma really means that most of you may know Buddhist symbol is the wheel. So what symbolizes is the definition of wheel means like not stay one spot. It's keep turning one place to the next place. So similarly, Buddhist knowledge, like a Buddha was gained this knowledge. So where he gained knowledge is not only just through his meditation, gain knowledge through receive teaching from his own masters. That knowledge passed to his disciple, and then next disciple after today never stops. So that way, the knowledge is like a wheel, always what we call the traveling one place to the next place. So that's the reason we have the symbol of the wheel. The Buddha symbol is the wheel. So Buddha came and gave the teaching. And then third one, the teaching of the Buddha, as I explained, not going to be forever. It's depend on being's interest. So in this way, in the sutra, clearly stated how long this Buddha Shakyamuni's era or time going to last. Stated that only lasts for 5,000. After 5,000 years, this teaching completely going to be disappear in this world. Means like none of being's interest that time. Yeah. So at this point, we are lucky still exists the teaching of the Buddha, the third condition. And the fourth condition, not only just exist his teaching, there's enough kind of people interest, follower there. Yeah? So that's the fourth condition. And the fifth condition, not only just follower, also people who follow the Dharma, no matter how negative, but at least once you have a little bit Buddhist influence in your life, you have a tiny, little bit different than a person who hasn't got Dharma in your life. Means like a tiny compassion towards others. So compassion, just having tiny compassion enough, because that kind of shows you have a potential to develop great compassions. So these are because the five that depend on others. Yeah? Buddha appeared, he taught, his teachings still remain, and there's a follower, and the people has a compassion towards others. So when you have all these 10 conditions that I explained, and then you free all this at lack of freedom, if you got all of these things, then you are perfect human rebirth. Perfect means like, I'm not saying you're a perfect person, what we're saying you have a perfect condition to practice Dharma. So that kind of a condition and quality is extremely rare. So in this way, one need to kind of first to study about the precious human rebirth, and second, have to not just believe what I said, not just believe what the book that you read, rather you should exercise your mind whether it's rare or not. Not just as based on your feeling, rather use the logic mind, reasoning mind. So through the logic and reasoning, only can prove whether your idea is right or wrong. So just giving time and exercise this logical reason itself is a great the mental training, mind training, really. Because that more you train, more you exercise, naturally it helps you to sharpen your mind. So this way, first, that's what I'm saying, one must study before you actually meditate. Study thoroughly, make sure you have a sort of clarity in your mind, and then the study. There's two types of study. One is just listening and reading. That's the first stage of study. And then the much deeper state of study is not just listening or reading, rather what you heard, what you read, now you contemplate whether it's right or wrong. Self-study, go more deeper. So that when you go more deeper, that brings you much profound wisdom to develop this conviction that's true or not. So once you kind of found the conclusion, the essence or point, so that very point, now you have to familiarize. That's what we call the meditation. So in this reason, without having knowledge, without having this conviction, then nothing to meditate. So if you meditate without study, without contemplation, that meditation is only just superficial. That doesn't bring you the deeper state of wisdom mind. So that's the first foundation, precious human rebirth. Now, so, to this precious human rebirth, just having all this, what we call 18 prerequisites, is extremely rare. Within human who has all these 18 is very rare. So that point of view, we are so precious, one thing. So when we talk about, sometimes what I have concern is we as mundane beings, moment you find something special yourself, instead of we grateful and do right things, you instantly think, oh, I must be special than others. You're comparing to others. So if you have that, if you develop that kind of thought, then you make a mistake. We're not saying I'm more special than others. What I'm saying, I'm more fortunate, have to practice Dharma, but I'm not saying I'm more fortunate than others. That's also important. The moment you involve ego, that makes mistakes. That's important, because whole idea I mentioned earlier, practice Dharma is to end the suffering, increase the happiness, not other way around. To name of the Dharma, increase your suffering. That's not the method of the Dharma. So in this way, we have to meditate more often to realize how fortunate have all these 18 prerequisites. To having these 18 qualities is extremely rare. That's the first reason we talk about the precious human rebirth. So we call the natural point of view. Now second, the cause point of view. So this precious human rebirth as an independent nature or cause-effect point of view must have a cause. Without cause, we're not going to attain this human precious rebirth. So the prime cause to reborn human is living such an ethical life. Just committing virtues here and there a little bit, not enough to be born human, but we live entire life with the ethical life. So just think about, it's easy to live an ethical life or easy to live without unethical way of life. If you really look and reflect, very easy to live unethical than ethical life. So in this way, the cause point of view, how rare we can accumulate this ethical life. So when we realize that how rare to have this cause, then it helps us to understand how rare to have this human precious rebirth. So that point of view, we are so lucky have this precious human rebirth. That's the second point. And then third point is the example point of view. One of the example given in the sutra, Buddha himself saying how rare to find human rebirth, he giving kind of a hypothetical example, saying entire this planet is a huge ocean, and this ocean surface of the ocean, just imagine one golden yolk ring, yeah? And then beneath or inside the ocean, there's one blind tortoise. So this blind tortoise comes once every 100 years to the surface, and then the neck and the hook to connect, very slim chance, because the blind tortoise there's no eyes to search for the yacht. Yacht hasn't got the power to stay in one spot. The different wind blow in different directions, but still it's possible. So human rebirth, there's even much rare than that. So how we use the example into meaning, saying the ocean like a vase, what we're referring is our everyday thoughts. 99.9, this untrained mind are either negative or neutral. Very little positive, naturally. I'm talking about untrained mind. So negative and neutral effortlessly comes in our mind. But the positive is a lost effort to create. Even we put all this effort and we may manage to develop some kind of positive mind, but this positive mind, nothing lasts. Very easy to lose. So that's the example, it's like a vast ocean. And then the blind tortoise is to symbolize our ignorance mind. You know, sometimes when accidentally we do good things, but we're not aware. But most time we make a mistake. So this blind tortoise accidentally can connect to the golden yolk, not often. So that's symbolized, blind is ignorance mind. Then chances to practice Dharma, enter the Dharma, is a small kind of ring, very little. So this chance never stay over same, because I mentioned wind blows different direction. Means like some of us we motivate to do meditate, some of us we motivate to do such a good things. It comes some kind of opportunity to do some good things, but these good things that we do not last long, because then another thought comes, it blow away that opportunity. No? So in this way, that's not easy to target to connect the ring. So in that point of view, we are so fortunate to find this human precious rebirth. So this we call the third example point of view. And then the fourth, the number point of view. Many of us may think, be born human is not the difficulties. Because each and every year we're hearing human population is growing. We worry all this human not going to fit on the planet. So that point of view, we think it's not that easy, not that difficult to be born human. So one sense, if you focus as a human, kind of we can say that it's not difficult to be born, that's always increasing. But then if you look another point of view, I mentioned this morning, one type of insects, in just a small pocket of kind of a space, it's almost impossible to count. So imagine the entire world, there's no way we can count. So that point of view, finding human is very rare. Yeah? Even just think about, for medical science kind of point, so when we conceive in the mother's womb, what you call the spawn, the father's, how many millions, there's life, all these beings. Among these thousands, millions, whatever, only one or two has a chance to conceive. So if you look just that alone, it's not that easy. Because when I conceive, not just I myself come from this one seed, there's millions with me. So out of the million, I only survived, the rest of the not survived. No? So if you look at that point of view, it's not easy to find human rebirth. Yeah? So these are, I mentioned this morning, we know pointing ordinary metal, say this is gold. Yeah? Lots of religion says, oh, you have to believe this is gold. We know that this is very logically proved. Be born as human is a very rare. Nature point of view, example point of view, number point of view, and cause point of view. So just reflecting these four, somehow it helps you to realize how fortunate to find this rare kind of a precious life. So now just realizing how fortunate is not good enough. You know, what we need to do is like how I use this precious life much more purposeful, meaningful way. Yeah? Saying this human precious rebirth is perfect vehicle that takes you the destination that you want to reach. So that kind of vehicle is very rare to find. I usually kind of share with the people, I'm not sure some of you heard before from me, give me an example, say United States, NASA company, for instance, they spend billions of dollars creating this space shelter, yeah? And they test so much and they try to reach the moon or Mars or some other planet. No other country can produce that kind of a technology, piece of technology. So they have so much a proud nation. So after spending billions of dollars, thousands of people working, piece of metal managed to reach the moon or Mars, they're so impressed. Yeah? So if you really think about our human precious rebirth, this precious human rebirth has much greater technology than this space shelter. Because this space shelter, no matter how far it flew, but still in the samsara, cannot reach the nirvana. You know, this is a precious human rebirth. If you take off in the right way, you can reach the enlightened state. So why we not impress ourselves? No? So NASA's kind of this space shelter, we can cost how much it costs to build that one. But human precious life, you cannot make a cost. It's priceless. So this reason is so important to realize my life is far more precious than in other things. So this precious, I should not waste it. No? In this very point, lack of awareness, this preciousness of one's life. So what we use in this precious life, just imagine if you go or visit some of your friends, they pay like millions of dollars, decorate with the diamond or gold, use that as a garbage bin, you're going to be think that person is so silly. This millions of dollars worth of a diamond used as a garbage bin. Yeah? So same thing, we precious human rebirth, at this point, we're using it almost like a garbage bin. We're throwing all these unnecessary things in our mind. It's really just wasted such a precious object. You know? So in this point of view, we need to aware, if I use in the right way, this precious life have all the capacity to bring every happiness that I'm wishing for. Not only just myself, this precious rebirth can bring happiness entire kind of sentient beings. So while I have this opportunity, I should not waste it. It's so important. So in this way, some of the teachings saying, precious human birth, precious human life that we have now, is far more precious than wish-fulfilled jewels. Wish-fulfilled jewel, whatever you pray, it may grant you for what you want for this life. But none of this wish fulfilled jewel help give you to reach enlightenment. But this precious human rebirth, if you use the right way, in this very life can attain full enlightenment. So therefore, this precious life rebirth is far more precious than any other object. So this, that's what we're saying. We need to learn, we need to aware, and then more kind of reflect and meditate. So eventually, each and every time, you're going to find yourself how precious this life. So more you realize this precious, that realization itself stop wasting your opportunity. That realization itself stop committing negative things. At this point, lack of this awareness, we easily waste our time, easily misuse this life. So this reason Buddhism is not making you as a great person, but it's introducing who you are. So in this way, one need to recognize who I am. So important. So therefore, there's many ways we can develop this understanding self. This, I'm saying, first stage of understanding oneself is such as listening, the nature of the life. The second stage, what we heard, reflect ourselves to understand I'm really as a precious or not. So in this way, just that's the reason we call the foundation. So foundation means like a basic. One need to aware is to realize that my value is so important. At this point, we not recognize our value. We think something else more valuable than me. The reality, there's no more valuable than yourself than in other things. So that's the first foundation to establish this idea or realization, to recognize how precious life that I have. Now second foundation is the shortcoming life or impermanence. So this again, once we, so there's three topics. The first one, once we born, we definitely going to die. Second one, time of the death is indefinite. And the third are the time of the death or after death. The most helpful is the Dharma. Three things we need to reflect. So first we talk about, there's a few teachings. There's a, once we born, we have to die. Once we comes together, we have to separate. Once we got possession, and we have to lose. That's the nature, Sometimes we humans not realize, we just only take the good part, and then we say, I don't want the bad part. But the reality, you cannot separate these two. It's come as a package. So right at the beginning, you're aware of these things. Then something like occur, such as a death, it's nothing strange. It's a part of life. Saying, when we look into the climate, sometimes it's beautiful. There's a blue sky, beautiful kind of stars, moon or whatever. But the nature of the climate always not remain in that way. Sometimes other way around, extremely hot or extremely cold or cycling. So if you know about the nature of elements, it doesn't bother that much. Then when we not accept these things, then it's a lots of trouble, because we expect always remain as a kind of a beautiful day. So something go wrong or something different than what you expect, it makes us upset. So this way, we usually think the weather causes us upset, but the reality is not the weather, it's where we kind of develop these expectations. So same thing in our life is like a climate. Sometimes up, sometimes down. That's the nature. You know? So if you know about this, then much easier to tolerate. Yeah? As I mentioned yesterday or this morning, the good thing is because whatever experience in your life, none of them is just appear or manifest by itself, created by the cause and conditions. So if you control the cause and condition, then effect also have a control. If you don't control the cause and effect, so the cause and condition, then you don't have any control over your effect. So lots of us, we don't care about the cause and effect, so the cause and condition, but we're so much concerned about the result. So that means like we lack of understanding the nature of phenomena, the nature of how things exist. So all this point of view, we need to have such a great realization how things function. All phenomena are so important. Yeah? So anyway, main point come back to the impermanence. What we're saying, the birth and the death. Again, it's saying birth and death is not exist apart from one's mind. Again, if you really think about it, it's just a concept. As long as we have this concept of birth, that very concept going to have this death. You can't avoid. So moment you free this concept of the birth, you're free from that concept, death is not exist. So in this reason, we try so many ways to avoid the death. Yeah? But there's not such a medicine out there that can stop you to the death. I mentioned yesterday, the greatest medicine that can end our death is the wisdom. So the moment you develop the wisdom, say everything that we seeing, experiencing, feeling, within the frame of the concept. So whole world actually worship Buddhism saying it's a kind of running by this our individual concept. So concept itself does not really exist. So these things will come later on anyway. But I'm saying it's like at the moment we live in a relative kind of world. So this relative world, we primarily kind of dealing everyday life with the concept. So within this concept, we have this concept of birth. Then one day you're going to have the death. That's just imminent. There's no need to any doubt. Yeah? So what we're saying, what's this saying? Like once we accept, one definitely going to die. Then what's going to happen after death? And then different religion has a different point of view. Say some Jain, some Hindu philosophical school, they're saying when you die, it's almost like a fire once you extinguished, then nothing more afterwards. So after death, that's it. There's nothing afterwards. So everything is this life. And then Christian point of view, it's no karma. You created this your life. This life created by the God. When you die, it's not up to you where you're going to take, what is going to happen. It's up to God. Either send you heaven and hell. But in the Buddhist philosophy, say neither when you're dead, it's not like going to extinguish like a fire, nor after the Buddha, it's your karma. Whatever karma that you committed, they're going to follow what kind of next destinations. So in this way, say, you can create such a powerful weapon kind of destroy your physical body, but there's not such a physical powerful weapon that can stop your mind. Impossible. So only powerful weapon that stops your mind is wisdom again. So again, Sam come back to the yesterday, this morning or yesterday I mentioned, outer enemy going to die by itself, but inner enemy, if you don't apply antidote, never will stop. So it means like a mind is a continuum. Yeah. So when we have this kind of concept of a rebirth, there's life after death. Then some, like when we talk about the karmic things, we have a concern, I may reborn in the lower realms. So sake of avoiding the lower realms, I committed virtues in this life, avoiding not to reborn in lower realms. That practitioner, we said, a small person's practitioner. So in the Atisha Dhamchoe taught the gradual path, such as a small person's path, middle person's path, and a great person's path. So later on, in the Galupa school, more emphasized these three schools, the three persons, small and middle and great person. So that's the one thing. And then second, middle person, what we say is as a samsara. When we say samsara, samsara is again is a mind. Apart from mind, there's no samsara. So what state of mind we really talk about samsara is the mind that experience three suffering: suffering of suffering, suffering of change, suffering of progressive. That very mind is a samsara. Yeah. So when you are aware this mind full of suffering, and then you want to renounce that mind, you want to free from that mind for yourself, it's because of self-liberation. So person who interested to attain that self-liberation, we call the middle person's path. Yeah. Now the third one, this samsaric mind is suffering, your samsaric mind is suffering, other samsaric mind suffering. So it's not right put all the effort to free myself. No? Everyone wish to have the same thing. So rather I do practice to help everyone. So anyone who has a great mind to help all beings, that person we call the great persons. So in this way, impermanence, what they say, like one of the greatest blessing of the Buddha, because if you really aware of impermanence, it does so many good things to us. Say, for instance, we have lots of problem with attachment. Yeah. And this attachment leads us so many problems, physically, mentally. So not easy to get rid of this attachment mind. So more you think about yourself, more you think about object you attach, think, I'm such as an impermanent nature, so it's not worth it to attach. I'm not going to be here all the time. The object that I attach is not worth it to attach, because this also has no kind of a time limit. It's impermanence. So more you think about impermanent, naturally, I mentioned yesterday, while you're having whatever you like, it makes you enjoy, but once these objects are gone, not going to make you sad, because no, this is impermanence. Sometimes I give you example as a rainbow. You know, when we see a beautiful rainbow, we all enjoy to watch that one. But at the same time, we know this rainbow is not going to last. The moment it disappears, none of us will feel disappointed. The reason we not get disappointed, the moment we see the rainbow, we know this is not going to last. So in this way, while you're watching the rainbow, it's enjoyable. When it disappears, nothing makes you upset. So in this way, every beautiful thing that we have in our life, just think as like a rainbow. Because none of them independently existed. Everything depends on so many causes and conditions. So this is so important, what we're saying, one cause, not enough power to create anything. Need so many other conditions. One condition, it get damaged, that result not going to last. So we are so co-dependent, everything, So this is the reality. So this reason I'm saying, we lack of understanding the nature of how things exist. Instead of that, we put in so much expectation. So what we put expectation is totally different than how things exist. So because we're not matching things how it exist and what I expect, then this kind of display the reality, then this expectation don't accept, that way we get lost upset. We become like a lost negative. So this is the difference between the ordinary beings, how we react. Great master, how they react. Because we react differently, because we see the world in a different way. That's the only differences. Otherwise, the world itself not manifests one thing for us, other things to someone else. So where we look, that makes the differences, the world. So on this reason, Buddhism saying, you don't need to go out there fix the world. You should fix your mind. Because at the end of the day, mind is creating all the decisions. So in this way, impermanence, when I look at a nice table or nice object, it's I mentioned earlier, Buddhists not saying you should not be happy what you got. Definitely you should be happy, but at the same time, don't think this is going to last. So if you don't have attachment, things makes you more happier. If you got attachment, that diluted, makes them less happier. So the one of the, of course, the ultimate method is wisdom, but they just realize the impermanence itself a tremendous contribute you not to get attachment. So therefore, we call that impermanence one of the great blessings to free us this attachment. Attachment is like a prison. Just say about many of us, we say, I haven't got this time, I haven't got that time. So what makes a restriction of time? Because attachment, commitment. We have so many other commitments, so that restricted, put our own life in a prison. So just free this attachment, we almost like release us from the prison. So that particular key to open the prison is impermanence. If you know more about the impermanence, it really helps to open the door of the prison and help you to release from that. If you don't have knowledge of impermanence, you're kind of stuck there. You're always going to be in a prison. So this way, impermanence are great things that frees you, release you from the prison. So this is the one, once we're born, have to die. One of the also sutra stated, one person who has a clairvoyance, looking everywhere where I can find place free from the death. Impossible you can find any place you can go last forever. So that's the reality. So that's the first one. Now, second one, indefinite. Again, it's the reality. I say, life is precious, but the life is created by many causes and conditions. So one thing go wrong, there's risk of you losing your life. Yeah? And think about many things that we have this confidence going to help me to live healthy life. Those phenomena sometimes cause us losing our life. So how many people believe the house is a sad place to live, and that warehouse burned out, earthquake, you die in the house. How many of us we pay expensive car we think it's safer, and how many of us we actually die in that very car? And how much we believe this food and drink is so healthy, and that very healthy food and drink, how much? So if you really think about, there's more obstacle one's life than supporting our life. Therefore, how often we need to be so mindfulness, what we eat, what we drink, where we go, what to do. We're always careful. We subconsciously we know it's indefinite, but consciously we forget that. We still think I'm going to last for here forever. No? We build something that lasts 200 years, but I won't be here that period of time. So in this way, it's important to know and the Buddhism saying, life is like a bubble. You never know when it's going to be blast. Life is like a candle placed in a windy place. Anytime can blow off. What I'm saying is that you should be always live in a fear. We're not talking about that. What we're saying is sooner or later, there's no need to doubt we're going to die. So instead of we thinking, I do something important tomorrow, that's a mistake. If you have a guarantee tomorrow, it's okay, but there's no guarantee. And then in our mind, we have this concept, tomorrow is a very short distance, within 24 hours. Next life, far away from us. But the reality, sometimes the next life comes faster than tomorrow. So it's not far away from us. The moment you die, you're already the next life. So in this way, only reliable time is the present, because we're still alive, still exist. But the moment after, it's no guarantee. So in this way, each and every minute, we should be grateful. Each and every minute, we should not waste it. So in this way, if we use this limited time, priceless opportunity, live in such a, yesterday we talked about an ethical and positive. While you're living in that positive state, it's very enjoyable. Then time comes to depart, nothing to regret. Rather full confidence. The Buddhism saying there's the three best ways to die. The first one, entire your life, live such in a positive way, not by the force, due to religion reason, I have to live, no other choice. That's no good idea. Idea is one need to aware, while I'm living in such a virtuous way of life, it really brings a tremendous joy to me. It really brings me such great things to help others. There's no more greater way to live than that. So this, based on that realization, you live such a virtuous and ethical life. Then one day, either you got some kind of terminal ill or some reason you're going to die, then there's nothing regret. You're more looking forward, because this body is not strong enough. The moment after death, I'm going to have a new body. So great practitioner actually looking forward, end of the life, get a new body. That's the best way to die. Then there's nothing sense of fear. I mentioned my late teacher died a few years ago. That is a really good example, Actually, he's dying, none of us know, but he's actually dying tomorrow. That very evening, he invited few of his close students, asked them to come to sit next to him. Then he planned everything what to do after death. Writing everything, giving every instruction, almost like he feels like he's traveling somewhere else. So everything he clearly instructs, then next day he's gone. So he don't have any fear. So almost like when they told me, when they sit next to him, where he give instruction, almost they thought he's a kind of traveling some other country. So when we excited, when we go on some holiday, then we give some instruction to person who going to manage our house. So exactly the same thing he did. So these are the signs of the great practitioner. There's nothing fear. Know exactly where they're going to be in the future life. So that's the first, what we say, the best way to die. And then second one, they're saying you have not exactly what kind of life you're going to be born, but at least you know you're not going to be born in such low realms. So there's no fear. That's the second best way to die. And the third is I haven't done so many great things in my life, but at least I didn't cause any harm to anybody. So in that aspect, I don't have any regret in my life. That's the third best die. Without one of these three, if we just, while we have this great opportunity, we live with the miserable, did all these harmful things, then time comes with so much fear. So in this reason, people are saying, what should I do time of the die? That time of the death, we can't do that much. That moment is a panic moment. So what we can do is right now, while we are healthy, while we have this opportunity, while we have this freedom. So in this way, living in such a virtuous way is good for present, is good for the time of the death, is good for the future. So this reason is so wise to live in such a virtuous life. So that's another way I can explain indefinite. And then another Buddhist talk about is say many of us have different reasons I'm going to live much longer. So some of us will say, I went to check doctor and he or she said there's nothing wrong with me. Everything's perfectly all right. There's also no good reason. How many people after got report within few years it's gone. So one of the good reasons is my late sister. She died also a few years ago. Just a year before that, she went to check her health. And the doctor told her, nothing wrong with you. Everything's all right. Perfectly all right, your health. Then within the 12 months, she felt very uncomfortable and went back to check again. They found advanced cancer. Within few months she died. So again, just done the check, that's no guarantee you're going to be still healthy. And then many of us, we think, I'm younger, nothing wrong with me, I'm going to last longer than you all guys. There's no guarantee. Many young people die before the old people dies. And then many healthy people die before the sick person dies. We all know, someone who really sick in the hospital, and you're healthy, you visit the sick person, and the sick person still is sick, is alive, but the person who visiting the healthy person is gone. So this reason, life is really uncertainty. That's the reality. So in this reason, we should not deceive ourselves. Say, I'm going to do next. Next is no guarantee. So only guarantee is that right now, what we do, So in this way, reflect the indefinite. Now third one the time of the death, I mentioned earlier, the most helpful to you is during the lifetime, if you live such in the virtuous and positive things, the time of the death, that only really makes you feel good, feel relax you. Other than that, while you're alive, you met millions or billions of dollars, and you met so many followers, but the time of the death, these billions of dollars in your pillow, these millions of followers surround you, they're not going to ease your pain. Rather, you're going to more pain. Now I'm losing them. No? So nothing they're going to help you at the time of the death. So this reason we're saying Dharma is, we not talk about religion perspective. Dharma, as I'm saying, is a compassionate state of mind. If you integrate, implement the compassion in your mind, so many great practitioners, time of the death, one of the most powerful practice, because the time of the death realize how uncertainty, how much fear. So that very moment, you not just caught up your own fear or uncertainty, rather you're going to think how many out there who experience in that way. So in that way, your own fear transforms into compassion, wishing others no one go through what I'm going through. You know? So in this way, your even death is become like a path. You know? So in this way, so useful time of the death. Then after death, the death is a concept I mentioned. Really, reality death is just physically, what we say death is really primarily what we say is like a mind and the body separating. The moment body and mind separating, we call the death. So it means like really what's dying is the body, not the mind. The mind is still healthy, continues next life. So now you think about while we're alive, we nothing done for the mind. You know, we all this caught up this life, this and always make this and that, then make this mind such a poor state. So when you die, this poor mind cannot help itself. So this reason I'm saying, as a Dharma practitioner, what we recommended is, of course, important to live in a kind of a comfortable life while we're alive. But that's not everything, because most important is we have to live healthy mind is important. Because what we have now is temporary. But mind is kind of permanent. So in that sense, Buddhism saying the friend that you have in your life, family that you have in your life, is kind of temporary, kind of when you go into overseas holiday, you go with the group. So it's the same like that, you know. Our family is like a temporary kind of companion, our traveling companion. We cannot travel with them forever. The place we're staying with meeting is my house. The reality, these are guest house. We're not going to have this forever. So in this way, it's not at the moment what we say as ordinary beings, we put 90% effort, all these physical things, but we may put less than 10% to invest our mind. So in Buddhist recommended, even you can't put 100% to your mind, at least 50% to your mind, 50% your everyday life. Then when you die, you have something to carry, the half of your share. You know? That's more wiser. So this reason, if you look in terms of after death, most helpful when your mind in such a positive state. Nothing else that can help you. You know? So sometimes culture is a funny thing. Yeah? In the Chinese culture, after death, they make all this fake house, money, car, then they burned. Yeah? So they have this true, yeah? So they believe it's like, if I burn this house, dollars, car, this person get, even this modern iPad, iPhone, they burn. You know? So this person get it. This is just a religion concept, it's not philosophical thinking. So in this way, really important to aware the mind is amazing things. I say our mind is far more older than this planet. This mind going to be, I think there's no limit. So anyway, these are second foundation. The death is imminent. Time of the death is indefinite. So moment of the death, after that, most helpful is the Dharma. So Dharma is no other than compassion and wisdom. So these things we need to reflect. Now that we talk a little bit about third foundation, cause and effect. So before I talk again, the one the sutra saying, the life is like an autumn cloud, constantly changes, never stays the same. That's one example. Life is like a steep waterfall. Each and every second running out. If you really think, each and every second is priceless. If you really know about the life, we can't afford to waste this opportunity. They're saying some of the great Kadampa means like some ancient Buddhist school, this Atisha's lineage. This master have this concept, say, when they're coming out from the cave, they don't expect they're going to return because of impermanence. When they enter into cave, they don't expect they can come out because of impermanent. So it means like every time they live in moment to moment. Every time they live in the present. So this way, they not wasted any time. But we're not living in the present. We always live in the future. Living in the future, thinking about past. So we lost between that present. So this is the non-practitioner kind of way of life. So that means like we're not really living in the reality. We're living in a non-reality. Past that gone, we live in there. Future's not there, we live in there. But we're not living the reality. That's the reason we're missing the reality of the life. So this reason, one need to aware, we should bring our mind back and live in the reality world. Moment to moment, present to present, so important. And then our teacher said, life is like watching a movie. Within a short period of time, you can see how much changes occur. So life is like that, very unpredictable. This morning, I was so happy. This afternoon, I'm so miserable. Then tonight, I'm not sure what's going to happen. So we become like actor, acting this drama constantly. But we don't realize ourselves as acting as a drama. Then somebody act, we say, you are such an actor. So we are one of the actors as well. Not just others only act us. That's life. So all this way, one need to kind of aware the life is impermanence. So this impermanence, one way it helps us to remove the concept of wrong view. What concept wrong view is like, we may think life is permanent. How we think this permanent is, so I met you yesterday, or I met you last year, I met you 10 years ago. We still think I'm meeting the same person. But the reality, moment to moment, that person is changing, never stays the same. When we look in the river, we think, I saw this same river last year. When we look in the tree, we think I'm seeing the same tree yesterday. But each and every moment is changing. Nothing is the same. So all this way, once you know about impermanent, we know as the same. Minute to minute it changes. Because what we're saying, as a human being, this human eye only can see gross change. But this human eye cannot see subtle change. So this gross change not going to happen if there's no subtle change. No? So subtle changes every second, changes. So in this way, nothing is permanent. We're not seeing the same person, what we saw yesterday. It's a different person. No? So in this way, we need to aware that the concept of us seeing same person, same object is a wrong concept. Constantly changes the object. So in that point of view, it's impermanence. Okay, so we probably stop here today, then talk tomorrow.